So what was I talking about? I.e. bitching about, i.e. yelling about. I don't remember. I can't do the piano punk thing with this camera because I'm not used to this car, and I don't want to get into a crash all because I'm trying to be creative, you know? It's a little different because it's my parents' car. If it were my car, you know, I run this thing into the mud, done it multiple times. Poor Fiona. I miss her so much, you have no idea. The first couple days, I would literally like open the door to the garage and just cry because I was expecting her to be there and she wasn't there. I don't want to compare myself to a parent that lost a child, but I will say that that's probably the closest thing that I'll ever know. The closest that's the closest. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. I can't even imagine what that must be like to bring a child into the world only to lose it. That's got to be such a terrible thing. But at the same time, I think about like all these parents that just let their kids do whatever they want, and the phones are like the best example of like how like bad parenting is pretty much the norm. You know, like people don't want to pay attention to anything. They really don't. Like, people get mad at me because they think that I'm so negative or whatever. You're not paying attention to anything. If you're not negative about society, if you're not dark and sinister, you're not paying attention to what's actually going on in your own country. And you should be ashamed of yourself for that. You should cut yourself in the shape of America. And you should press down on that blade a little bit harder. Because you don't care about anything. And see, I can say that because I've taken measures to avoid things that are destroying society, like smartphones and social networks. Both of those things are destroying society. And don't take my word for it. The fact that the people that invented these things don't even use them because they know how bad they are, kind of like a drug dealer that refuses to do their own drugs. Isn't that interesting? I mean, yeah, I know that I'm a cunt about it, but I should be a cunt about it because, you know, just working in restaurants and seeing these so-called families and couples stumble in to the restaurant. I mean, you have any idea, like, how many people, they can't even, like, walk in a straight line because, I mean, well, I can't walk in a straight line regardless, but I don't have to have a phone to distract me to not be able to walk in a straight line. But, like, you see all these people just tripping over themselves, you know? It's like if they're going to do that physically, just imagine what's happening to their mind and their psychological makeup as a result of this technology that everybody insists upon, that, oh, I must be a paranoid schizophrenic because I don't want anything to do with it. Honey, you got the schizophrenia part right. Congratulations. But you don't really know anything about schizophrenia. That's okay, though. You're a Westernite, so I'm not surprised that people in Western demoralization don't know anything about schizophrenia, considering the fact that they still don't know that their country sucks. They don't know why their country sucks. This is the #1 child sex trafficking country in the world. That's the reason why it should go down in flames. Saving it or salvaging it or whatever the fuck you want to say. Why? The currency is baby's blood. The currency is the innocence of children, which makes perfect sense if you think about it, because these motherfuckers work for the devil. And there's nothing more godlike than a child. So if they take the innocence of a child and they extract their blood, that's like, that there's so much spiritual power that they can get from that. And it's absolutely sickening, and I know that a lot of people don't want to talk about this, but just imagine what it's like to be that child. Like, I have no fucking tolerance for this shit. I have no tolerance for it. People that refuse to talk about these things. Oh, you're uncomfortable? You're uncomfortable? Just think about what it's like to be passed around a pedophile ring. Think about what it's like to be tortured until you fucking die, you piece of garbage. You know, I just want these people to die a slow and horrible death. I really do. But I'm being judgmental. You see, I look at these kids, though. These kids that I go to church with. And they're so sweet, and they're so innocent, and they're so funny, and they're so interesting. Like, they have such an interesting perspective on everything. And I always pray for them. I pray for children more than anybody. I ask God to preserve their spirit. Because this world goes out of its way to rob us of that spirit. That's what the public education system is for. Okay? So, if they're not literally raping a child, they're going to do that through a system that people agree upon because they're lazy and they don't want to teach their children anything. Well, why would you? Like, you don't have anything to teach them. You know? And it's like, these kids that are addicted to their phones, these kids that spend an outrageous amount of time watching TV. Yeah, because their parents do that. If you can even call them parents. And I know, like, I don't have children, so it seems like, who the fuck am I, you know, to you know, make this judgmental declaration about parents being terrible at their job. But yeah, if you give your kid a phone, like, you obviously don't care, like, about their well-being. I mean, the TV is so bad. The TV is so bad. And the phone is just like a miniature portable TV that they can carry around that also validates them and pretty much ensures that they're going to grow up with confirmation bias, okay? They're going to grow up with antisocial personality traits. You see that more and more. I mean, people just, they just don't think things through. And anybody that thinks things through, such as yours truly, is just going to get called crazy and ridiculed, and, you know, people are going to say that I'm too negative and shit. And guess what? All these motherfuckers are going to burn in hell. So I hope you think about all that negativity, you know? You'll have a lot to think about down there. So, see, I don't want to gloat about that. You know, that's not positive. That's not a Christian thing to gloat about people burning in hell. So, I'm sorry. Okay? I don't mean it. I'm just bitter.